Welcome to the Multifarious Man Podcast, episode 502, Still in Love with Coffee. As always, I'm your host, John Michael. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Multifarious Man and find links to all previous episodes of the show, along with essays and reviews at www.multifariousman.com. In case this is your first time listening, go back to episode 501, where you can hear part one of my interview with Vince and Samry of Third World Premium Coffee and the new Jam Network TV show Love and Coffee with Vince and Samry. Part two is coming up later in today's show. Also, I will be talking about the latest Marvel and Star Wars news from the wonderful world of Disney, a surprise album drop from one of America's biggest pop stars, and the latest project from a Big Bang Theory alumni. So sit back, relax, and after the break, hear part two of the interview with Vince and Samry. Are you still in love with coffee? I know I am.
Numerous and varied, greatly diverse and manifold. All the things I want to say that never been told. Demon Sinatra to Drake and Pharrell. When I'm listening to this week, you can never tell. Bogey and Bacall, even Meryl Streep. The devil wears Prada, even the big sleep. It doesn't matter where you stand. I'm the multifarious man.
Welcome back to the Multifarious Man Podcast. On the last show, I shared part one of my interview with Vince and Samry. We learned some of the history of marketing in the world of hip-hop and the background of the coffee industry's third wave. In today's wide-ranging interview, you will hear what it was like for Samry growing up on her family's coffee farm in Ethiopia. So here it is, part two. So we're back up on Facebook Live. Again, this is the Multifarious Man Podcast, and I'm here with Vince and Samry of Love and Coffee with Vince and Samry and of Third World Premium Coffee. So before we stopped streaming before, we were talking about coffee farming and the history. And, you know, I'll say you're an expert. So go ahead and please tell us, you know, give us the background and, you know, what is coffee farming and, you know, what it means to you.
Yeah, so I'm very proud to have a family of coffee farmers. My family was lucky enough to be able to make money in that business, but that's not really a glorified business everywhere else outside of America. Most families in Ethiopia barely make
just enough to survive.
Farming, you know, and my family was able to put us through school. Okay. My brother and sisters are both doctors. My little sister is here in school and college. She's going for a doctor also. And in Africa, solar is a huge business, and that was the business that I went into.
Okay.
So.
That's how we met, actually, in the solar business first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was supposed to be marketing for a solar company and managing and training their sales and marketing reps.
Yeah.
And doing all of their marketing and promotions efforts.
So when my company acquired a marketing genius like himself, he came in and that's where I met him.
Took over everything and stole the wife. Stole the princess. Like a pirate that I am.
And we started talking and he told me about his background in marketing and I told him where I'm from. And my family business, and I told him, you know, that was not the route that I'm trying to go to because they don't really make that much money, and I don't really want to be in business that's not really glorified and,
Understood.
You know, everywhere else. And he's like, "Are you crazy? With my marketing, we can make this big." And I was like, "Oh."
I said, "This is America." Yeah. It all started with a cup of coffee.
Wow.
You know, so much. Like she was pretty much like the head sales.
Yeah.
For the company that acquired her company.
Okay.
It brought her here.
Yeah.
And then I was like the head, you know, I had a whole region, you know, far as the company that I was working with. And so we merged, and then we were like the two top dogs. It's like, okay, who's going to share?
Wow. Okay.
So it's like, you're going to have to deal with him because, like, our company just took over your company. And she's like, well, no, we have a certain way of doing it. So we came together, we got it done. But a lot of coffee, a lot of arguments over who's going to be put first.
Wow.
So we appreciate each other's power at that point. And, I didn't have anybody at the time. She didn't have anybody at the time. Razor focus, In
our culture, you don't really date that much. You meet that guy and then you take him home to meet the family.
Okay.
By the family, so that was never really my focus. And, America is a really different culture from Ethiopia. Right. And I do appreciate that culture because, it's very modern and it allows women to be in society with men in powerful positions. So for that aspect, I really do love it. But I also love my culture back home and how women respect their men and, they don't really date around that much. And then they just find that one guy to commit to,
Now, listen, I got daughters of my own.
Yeah.
I was always, in the business of empowering others. Somebody else could have took that the wrong way. I told her, I said, you wouldn't met the wrong American. And they were like, oh, bring me my slippers. Do this. Blah, blah, blah.
No, that's...
I respect her gangster and I respect her knowledge. And I say, we can make something out of this because we both love coffee. I've been marketing products all my life. We just went into a little segue about how Black artists are actually doing bigger commercials now. But me and associate named Cedrica Miller, we put Nelly, Queen Latifah in car commercials. Mustang, we did Common with the Ford Lincoln Navigator, did Daddy Yankee with the Tahoe. We did so many different, and then we did Sprite with Drake. So we did so many over the top things that it's I know the space, I know where it is, I know the brand managers, I know what it is. I got all the accessibility to the Whole Foods of the world, Amazons, and we taking this thing, we building it from a point where we're gonna start with our baby, embryo first, and then we're gonna let it grow. Yeah. It's all about proof of concept here, but I had a direct connect to I got to connect.
That's, you know what, and the resources and that, that's important. It's like, if you don't know where a product originates from,
right.
Sure, you can sell it, but if you actually know the entire chain from start to finish, you're ahead of the game there. And that's, I can't wait to hear your stories. I can't wait to see the show, and the love part of it. It's beautiful. That's a story that wrote itself. I hope you well know you talk
about a woman who really loved my children. I love her family. Can't wait to meet my family in person again over in Ethiopia. We got a trip going out there in January, I think. Okay. But we really wait till the COVID clear. Yeah. I don't want to get and not be able to come back.
As foolish as we've been over here. I sometimes wonder how the rest of the world looks at us and is like, no, we don't want you coming here.
You're like, keep them taking Americans out of here.
They don't even let us in right now, even if we want to.
Right. It's like back in the 90s trying to go to Brazil when they had the highest AIDS rate. I'm not going on spring vacation in Brazil.
But I'm telling you, that's a modern love story. I love it. I just love to see it. And I could see it with you guys. And I've watched your videos before. It's obvious. The family is important. I see both of y'all. You could just see you guys really care for each other. And it's a positive competition where I could see you guys compete, but never in the sense of, well, if one of them gets ahead, you're going to pull the other one with you no matter what. And it seems like you both are comfortable with either one of you taking charge, and it doesn't affect you negatively. You're like, Vince, I know you're like, oh, that's my lady. It's like, she's doing her thing. I'm going to play my part and fall back and let her do her thing.
And if anybody try to push up or come at her hard, I roll like a Dungeons Dragon.
Got to.
So that nook come out.
Brick City. Got to. So, and I'm just looking forward to seeing you go to different shops because it's a part of the community that's missing. It's like your downtown areas, your college towns. These are things that, the coffee shop, used to be the lifeblood. It was a place where you went, place where you'd hear new artists. It's a place where you got to meet people and talk, in an environment where, it's conducive for conversation, where people could truly connect. Where it's missing, you're not yelling at each other. It's just a nice, quiet conversation over a cup of coffee, over a meal.
And listen, you get it. So if you know me and you see where it's going, and, I look at everything like your marketing, and that's what made hip hop such of a marketing, mammoth, is because we saw everything like we're marketing that pack to the streets, like we're marketing that nickel bag, for lack of better words. And as long as you got to connect, you got to have the streets. As long as you got the streets and the runners, you got the blocks. As long as you get the blocks, the streets, and the runners, you're going to get rich. You just got to go out there and work that street. And everything I do in life and how I teach, when I speak at colleges and seminars and things of that nature, I let them know, look at everything like you're marketing, unfortunately, like a bag of drugs. Because if you do it like that, your passion and your heart is going to go into it. Make sure that your contact and your connect sources are definitely truly yours. Make sure that you have an audience that you can sell to. Don't go crazy trying to compete with anybody in the Fortune 500 or the Fortune 100 or the Fortune 1000, because we don't have that type of money. It got to always come grassroots. When you come grassroots, it's going to be honest. And people like honest, pure marketing. That's why the social media is blown up, because it's real. They like your flaws. They like to see you with your head messed up. They like to see you with a little bit of shit in your eye in the morning. They like to see all of that, because that is real. That's why reality TV took over, terrestrial television.
And think about it. You made an important point. It removes the barrier between you and your audience. People can communicate with you real time. That's why people like to comment. That's why people like to follow people. That's why, these TikTok stars, these YouTubers, they are making so much money, because people see someone that's just like them.
That's right.
And the advertisers, they will follow the money. They follow the people. They follow the eyeballs. They follow, where are people listening to? That's where you like you say, you talk about influencers. Who can influence people to spend their money?
That's right.
And that's huge. And if you own a piece of that, and the fact that, if you think about it, not even that long ago, if you had a show like your concept that you wanted to come out with, you had to go to a network, you had to go to a production, all these different barriers to get there, and it costs money. They're always going to ask you the question, well, how much can I sell this for? And, that's where it comes down to. They're not going to want to invest in it unless they see they can turn a profit. You talk about ratings, you talk all those different things. So talk about how you went from your concept to how, to starting to develop the show to where you got it to the point now where it's launching tomorrow on Jam Network TV, December 1st.
That's right.
So
I would love to go there. Basically, content is king, as we know. The real estate is in influencers and followers. That's your real estate. That is your deposit. That's your bank deposit right now. So, I got like about 93. I go back and forth from either 91 to like 95,000 followers on my Instagram on any given day. Sami is anywhere from 35,000 to 45,000 any given day. Fluctuate, goes up and down. Yeah. I was in the business of managing influencers. Kevin Lau and I, a couple other partners, Team Money, big shout out, Big Max, from the 300. We managed. I found them, but we managed together a group called Zias.
Okay.
And ZIAS. 4 million subscribers. These young boys are millionaires, 10 times over, and they make money, buying Lamborghinis and homes and things of that nature. So you got to know the culture. You got to know how the finances work in that culture. You got to know the economic structure of the culture. Then you just got to find a lane that you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with Sami. Sami's comfortable with me. What do we have in common? We have coffee in common. So we have coffee in common, comfortability, and true love that we don't mind showing to the world. If you're gonna be a spotlight and have a spotlight in your bedroom, it got to be honest. It can't be fake. And people go their ups and downs. There's arguments and there's fighting, but it's about how my mother always told me how you come back from that fight. You know what I mean? And right now, the biggest people on the internet right now, they go through all of the screaming, the yelling, and then they back, the next 5 seconds. People love that. Ding, 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 ching, ching, ching. They're waiting to see the next episode. We won't go that far. When I had a chance to do a couple of different television shows, turned down a lot of things for various reasons. I turned down a lot of things for various reasons, but I said to myself, you know what? Let's do a show that's going to be honest to me, honest to my woman, honest to our movement. She want to give back to Ethiopia and other, single origin nations, and so do I. I want to get back to Newark and other communities like Comptons and Watts and Philadelphia and Baltimore. Same thing, different land. So, our concept is a big one, but we know we got to take steps to get to that particular place. I know venues. I know music. I know the power of a venue. I know the power of a place that come together and meet up with for a commodity, whether it's booze or somewhere you could just smoke a nice blunt. There's a place where some people go collective, they meet. So our business plan in a nutshell is a 5-second business plan. Do this, launch the show, get some baristas that we open up, franchise them all over the country, bring live shows, a safe place environment where you could go and eat. Also, then franchise, make young Black entrepreneurs out of the coffee, make them distributors, make them be able to cover and buy and sell the coffee themselves, get them into business, start the franchise off with financing ourselves. We show you how to do it from start.
And because of, the lady sitting next to you, I know that part of your plan is reinvesting back in the farms. Because if I haven't told you the whole thing. If you look at the back of our bags and you bought coffee, you will see 3 locations that we're located. We're located in LA, which is Little Ethiopia, that's where one of our roasting happens. Okay. And then we also have New Jersey, where we are, because it's one of the biggest distribution hubs, New Jersey, for the whole thing. And then we have Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where we have actually purchased her family farm. Wow. And her brother that you're going to meet, Samuel, and his new wife, runs that part of the business. So all the beans that comes out of, are you still there? Yeah, I just put up on the screen for people to see just a little bit about the brand and, just about the About Us section from your website. No problem. So you'll meet Samuel, which is like Samri, and Samuel runs our coffee division over in Ethiopia, and this is Baba. All of this is going to be let out. So we are already coming into business with the farm and farming, and we also buy from different origins, and we're bringing them in. This is a project we've been working on for like 3 years. Wow. So now a lot of it's coming into place. I just want to leave a legacy, whether it's her family, my family, our families combined. Not forcing anybody to get into anything, but it's there. Because coffee is something that goes back to traits. Now, coming into the television show, we had everything with Vincent Samri as a show, as you know. Yeah. We had everything Ethiopian. My whole thing is going back to my roots. And I found out that my grandmother was straight from Africa, and my father was pretty much not sold from out of like sharecropping slavery at 10 years old, and was working on the Navy yards in Brooklyn since he was 10. Wow. Because the Caucasian that raped his mom gave him a skin color that was too light for the rest of his stepfather and his other sons. At 10 years old, they kicked him out. He ended up working on the railroad in Brooklyn. Wow. My grandmother, his mom is direct from West Africa. And so, black is tar, the whole 9 yards. And that story always started, it made me immediately dig up the roots and start to just really develop Africa. Chuck and I both. So I was already like hard on it's not like 3-4 generations down. This is like one generation. Okay. My daddy's mama straight from Africa, right off the boat. Meant to be. So I was like, I got to look into that. So I'm, as I'm looking into Africa, the African culture, and you just look at the commodities. The first thing I want to know, what's the economy here? What's sustaining these people? Coffee pops up everywhere. So I was already on that mindset. So when I met Samri, it was just like a match made in heaven. It was like, I don't know if I want to be called. I'm like, are you nuts? Coffee. So we started a show called Everything Ethiopian at first. Okay. And we went to the traits of letting everybody know that everything comes from Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. The first man, Lucy, was born there, right? Lucy was born there. The first human found it traces back to
3.2 million years ago.
Right, to Lucy in Ethiopia. So we built that. I tried to bring the hip hop culture in, like all our culture should be, go back to Ethiopia. Then that was like very niche. It had to get bigger.
Yeah.
And we had to talk about more things. So it grew into everything now with Vince and Summer. So we start talking about bringing more dialogue in. And then as we're developing the coffee company simultaneously, I said, you know what? Let's start talking about coffee on our show. She said, I tell you one better than that. Let's stop this and let's relate the show around the coffee. That was like her brainchild. I'm like, you're right. So we took the break, and that was the whole business model to revamp that. Since we're already doing this with coffee, because it's like, she's like, this is what we're doing. This is what we do every day. Yeah. So let's make the show based around what we do. And content is king. And you want something where the content flows off, because now we're in the factories. Our packers, you can see exactly what happens on a daily basis. But the show is going to grow into like a barista shop. We're going to offer all types of coffee. You want to go into that now?
We can.
Go ahead.
No, perfect.
Okay. So our idea is basically to bring, I don't like excluding people out, but I do want to bring in a lot of Black Americans into the coffee business.
That's not exclusive. That's not exclusionary at all. It's a plan that it makes perfect sense. You want to include someone in the industry that realistically started with Black people. Let's face it. Like you said, started in Ethiopia, and we know how the world kind of went into Africa and basically just stole everything they could. Not just the land, the people, everything. So why not have something that starts there and incorporate Black Americans? I told you I'm a coffee snob. I'm excited. So tell me more. So we want to bring Black entrepreneurs into this business, whether they know anything about coffee or they don't. We're willing to put them through school for that. Send them to one of our farmers. And then let them actually learn it on the farm themselves, right? And then, like he said, making them a distributor, but at no cost to them, because we want to be able to, the biggest problem in America for Black people is money, right? They Startup capital.
They have so many great ideas, but they have nobody to fund that for them. You can't go to the bank and say, I have a great idea. Can I have money for this? They're going to laugh, right? So we want to be that for Black America here. So we want to get them into import-export business that is huge on a worldly basis, right? But Black people might not be familiar with it. We want to bring that to them, and then with that, the shop that we're opening up will be able to fund a lot of those things
and build franchises from those shops on and on from there.
Yeah,
and then build it around a little reality show at the same time. The drama, the stint, the stunting, and everything that goes along with it.
But it's a renewable commodity.
There you go.
Yes, and eventually we want to have a TV show that's going to be, shooting in every shop, and all those people that are working in those shops are going to be recognized.
Right.
And maybe hopefully get a career off of that show.
Because you have, we'll shoot you a photo so you can add to your website about this show, a photo of her brother and his wife.
Okay.
So they're just we are in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're also producing the Love and Coffee show Ethiopia.
Wow.
There right now.
Wow.
So they're going to be hosting that particular show, but it's going to be coming through a station out of Dubai.
Okay.
So the network's going to be there.
Yeah.
So getting back to the show, and we just offer this, and Joe Katz is my attorney. One of the biggest attorneys in the world right now. We could have took this to the Food Network just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I told Joe, I said, you know what, let me build the concept first. Mm-hmm. And then I want to get back to the Black community first. So when we hooked up with Jam Network, Jam to me is taking the courage, James Scott, I was working with him, help marketing and getting people for his global mixed gender basketball. That's the whole story I'll put you on. That's a great show within itself. But because of the mixed gender basketball that he has with Master P, it enabled him to get a link with ESPN. And ESPN, of course, is owned by Disney, and they just bought Hulu, who owns a whole lot of streaming real estate. Mm-hmm. So James said, hey, you want mixed gender basketball team, then I want to be able to take that same streaming network and put some black folks on television and get some business in. Because streaming is the new model.
Yep.
It's just like BET was back when I was at Howard University. I used to actually go door to door and sell for Bob Johnson, who owns BET, District Cable. I think I told you guys the story.
Yep.
I used to knock on the doors in D.C., and I had no idea District Cablevision that he owned was going to become BET.
What did this? Yeah.
Yeah, that was just their that was their what you call their community access channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just playing music videos, and it grew into this thing. So I see that in James. I said, boy, slick as well shit, but I think you got it now. You got it now, boy. You got it now. So I was all in. I definitely want to be a part of the helping of developing the next new black network.
Okay.
You know, on a large scale. There's a lot of black networks out there, don't get me wrong. But they're micro networks. I'm in the music and entertainment industry. I know how micro they are, I know how big they can be.
Yeah, even everything, even everything that like Byron Allen is doing. I mean, it's, it's slowly but surely, but it's compared to the, the Cablevisions of the world, the Comcast of the world.
Oh, it's listen, the streaming company right now, you young brothers and sisters, is like being signed to a record company. Okay, you'll deal with a record company. Of course, my deal may be different from other cats' deals, but be assigned to a record company. And then as long as that record company can get you in those stores, okay? The stores in this case is, if you sign to a record company and he only can get you into the mom and pop store down the street,
you're not going to do anything.
Not a deal. Yep. But if the record company had access to Sam Goody at that time, Best Buys, Walmarts,
The Wiz,
Strawberry's Music at that time, that's what Jam Network, it has access to Apple TV, Roku.
That's exactly. I downloaded the app this morning. You're right. In that space, think about how hard it is. Think about how hard it is, the negotiation and the contracts that have to take place. I mean, even somebody big like Time Warner had to fight to get on Roku with their HBO Max. It's, so it's the fact that they're there and, on the Apple TVs, things like that. That's
see, my whole thing is this: we're putting up, our show is a record, our show is an album, and every time we record, that's a piece of content that we're recording every week. Now, the talent and the interest got to be in the record, like anything else.
Yep.
But we got access to the stores, we got access to the major distributors. If that record don't pop, it's something we're doing wrong at that point. You understand? So it's not something that the label's doing wrong. It's just a bypass. Because I look at it like a lot of the mammoth entrepreneurs in hip hop did it back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Like, no, give me a joint venture where I can go and do my thing. I'll pay for my own shit. Just give me to your shit and I'll take care of it from there. So, young brothers and sisters, it's not just about YouTube channels. Get into that streaming world.
Distribution.
Jay-Z says it's for you over and over again. You're having dreams, so we merrily making money off these streams. Okay? That is the new commodity as it relates to multimedia, the streams. Now, this show here that's going to start tomorrow, we're going to offer the first one to everybody. Pretty much you could download the Jam app for free. We're not even going to probably charge, for the first show. This whole month, he's going to let that rock get people acquainted. Whatever. And then it's only like $2.99. Though once you got that, you got it. You watch it on a regular basis. It's almost like any subscription. But that's how you get back to the black community.
The price of a premium cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee. We're going to do one better because we're going to probably give you a bag of coffee to buy at our streams. Anyway.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You had me at hello.
We'll offer something for you and your listeners. But I came into the television show. And then the show is going to, we hope, with God's will, to grow into something even bigger than that. We got the big boys waiting and watching on the side. We have already partnerships going in with like a lot of elaborate partners coming to the top of the year. So that's already a blessing for us. And it's going to be announced pretty soon. So we're going to be able to hopefully sustain and keep it going from there. But most importantly is bringing the world into the life and the commodity of coffee. And then helping you get into that business and make money from coffee. And then IPO that shit, sell it for like $100 million and do some shit else.
Man, I I love the concept. I love the idea and the fact that you're thinking about the full concept, not just telling the story, but actually bringing people along. And that's the important part. And I can tell you just from knowing you over the years, it's authentic. You truly do love talking about business and giving back. And you know, those gems, because it was poured into you and you're pouring back. And that's kind of what, you know, as part of what I'm looking to build and continue to, you know, you'll always have a place to, you know, to speak on my show. It's not, you know, it's not the biggest show in the world, but you got to start somewhere. And I love doing it. I enjoy it. I love doing it. I enjoy it. I'm excited about it. And, you know, the entrepreneur side, and I can't wait to see where this story goes. And just, you know, I'm really excited about the fact that you're talking about, you know, the biggest barrier is money and access. And the fact that part of your plan is to bring people along. It's like, I'm going to bring you in, teach you about the business so you can get to the point where you can sustain yourself.
That's it.
You know, that's, you know, that you're directly pouring into people's businesses. And as they grow, you grow as they grow. And it's like you're bringing people along, and that access is everything.
Listen, success is success, how I look at it. I work with a lot of artists that it just comes full circle, right? You know, when we work with Nelly, we helped develop a jean company for females because the lane was already taken by Jay-Z and Diddy. And so they had the male line locked down. So I told Nelly, it's true story. I said, well, your audience is 75% women. Why don't you sell something for women?
Yeah.
He said, well, what would that be? I said, sell jeans. And we sell jeans. We researched it. Shout out to Jesse Masters. Talked to him yesterday. Jesse, I got your coffee coming, by the way, buddy. And I said, why don't you do a clothing line for females? He said, what would I call it? I said, no, what would you call it? It's your company. And he said, Apple Bottom. And that's what it is. So his idea was to sell jeans to women. That was hard to put jeans on because we had them bubbles. Looked into the elastic jeans with a lot of elasticity.
Wow.
Concept behind Apple Bottom. Wow. You know, that company made a lot of money. But I go back to say this, even from Rick Ross and everybody else, you start, Jay-Z, you start in music just to get you the funding.
What you
come right back to real business. So I said, this part of my life, let me just go the other route. Let me just start in real business. And then you can play yourself some nice music after you make your money.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, all artists wants to be businessmen and respected as men at the end of the day.
Man, what did I see the other day? Master P's even selling what? Food products. What do you have? Barbecue? So I'm just amazed that I'm amazed when I see stuff like that. And I tell you, I get excited when I see that, where you see someone that starts here, but they saw beyond it. You know, and people hate him or love him. 50 Cent, what he's done, you know, people can hate him, they can love him, but he went from, you know, the street to rapping to making money for other people to making fun. I mean, what was it? The vitamin water. I mean, come on. I mean, and now everything he's doing with power, and you know, it's producing, owning content, distributing, marketing yourself, and having a commodity that people want.
That's it. Listen, marketing is all about courage. You know, if I put this hat on, will I be laughed at or will I be accepted walking out this door? If I put this wig on, will I be laughed at or will I be accepted going out the door? Why do you think a lot of black gay men period, are so great marketers? Because they're what you call fierce, right? They have no holds barred on their courage. Because you got to be courage to go into, like, you know, just being a gay man. And so that's huge, and that's why they're very well respected in the world of fashion, in the world of marketing, because they are fearless. So if you take that type of concept and be fearless. And you go out and you apply that to any type of business. If you fall down, all you can do is get back up. It's like black folks, you know, we don't have to worry about no damn recession. We've been in a recession all our damn lives. You know? Okay, so what this shit ain't a recession. So, okay.
Yeah. Powdered milk, government cheese. Yeah. Making
whatever
ends meet.
Whatever your hustle was. You may have been a driver for FedEx, but you know what? You know, this Christmas, baby, I'm going to probably have to drive and deliver milk, too. You know? No, if you was hustling nickel bags, this year I'm gonna try to sell some liquor out the boot of the car as well. Like whatever, you have to adjust. That's how we had to do it. There's no banks for us to go to. There used to be though.
Yeah.
And I want to say something to the young America today. Don't be afraid, and don't think that you're so far behind either, because we're not that far behind. It was just a very short time ago where we had all our own banks.
Mm-hmm.
We had all of our own black doctors. So nobody else wanted to come to our doctors.
We had to do it ourselves.
In the office.
Yeah.
So I came up with the father that was 30 years older than my mom. And, I got knowledge dropped on me from when all that shit was real. Like by the time I was coming up in the 70s and the 80s really, it was kind of like disappearing because they were suppressing Negroes again. But I already got the story, my dude. I already heard it. I've seen it.
You saw it.
I already seen the promised land. We had our own mortgages. And there's been black folks on Wall Street since the beginning of the time. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Okay? Lawyers. We had to have our own communities because they didn't want us in theirs. And when I say that, I don't say that in a very derogatory way. I'm not a racist man.
It was, but we were separated from it. And if we wanted to be a part of our professionals, we couldn't go to their doctors. So we had to have our own doctors. They didn't come to us. So we had to serve our community. It was a matter of need, Yeah.
And that's why our love is a solid one. Cause that's all she know. You talking about, you grew up in a country that's all black. She's like, that's all I know anyway. What are you talking about? Of course all the doctors are black. Of course all the presidents are black.
Man.
Of course all the Congress, I'm like, wow, you're absolutely right. And that's why we're great partners, because trying to find someone in America to think on that level, and you always got to have a job, you can't be an entrepreneur. You need to work. That's crazy. Entrepreneurialism is what makes this company respects you more than anything else. One thing about this country that's never racist is green. And long as you're making your green, everybody's going to get out of your way and respect you, because we got to get back into making more green. And don't worry about it, guys. This is a great time to be black right now, because the movements that's going on, it's a great time to be black. It's a great time to be a minority. It's a great time to be a female. It's a great time to be a female minority. It's a great time to be a niche female minority. Oh, we're taking advantage of all of that.
Man, that's beautiful. I'm excited for the things, and I'm glad I'm going to be able to see it and enjoy the coffee, and along the ride, watch the show, and continue to spread the word. As you continue to promote both, you definitely have a venue here. I'm definitely going to spread the word. I definitely would love to do this again. Once the show is up and running again. I thought this was an amazing conversation. And we'll do it again next time. We'll make an event out of it.
Yes, sir. Before we go, John.
Yes, sir.
Before we go, I wanted to instill into the black community also is that your packaging must be superb. Your marketing must be on the same level as anyone else. And people don't want you just to throw things together and just call it a company because you think it's a company. And pay your taxes. Get a damn attorney.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of, black attorneys and black accountants there that are certified. Let them speak for you. Pay that extra money. Do those taxes. Trust me, they know how to make it light on you. They know how to hide things and things of that nature, or get you to a point where you're not suffering. I say hide because a lot of the white folks say, you think they're good. Just pay your taxes, do right. And hold on. I just wanted to show you, like our packaging.
Yeah, man, I saw that, man, and I've been buying coffee for years, man. And the sealing and just the little touch that I can reseal it after I open it.
Right.
You don't understand how important that is. I'm tired of having to tape stuff back and keep it fresh. And when I got that, I was just like, you know what? Y'all did your homework.
Listen, I've been packaging products and albums and ideas for so many people, so many years. And I know what was bestowed upon me. And I know what that brand wants to see. And I know how they need to see everything manicured, dot the I's and cross the T's. So you lose that account, period. Yeah. So, when you come out, you just got to make sure and use your black brothers and sisters.
Okay.
There's some geniuses out there that are graphic artists. There's some geniuses out there that knows how to do all types of packaging and things of that nature, so your thing is looking correct and right. So this way, you'll get other communities buying into you, long as it's looking like it's not homegrown. Yes, this is a very specialty coffee company, and yes, we pride ourselves of being hands-on, but everything is legit. Our mailing, our packaging, everything is coming on time.
I can, as a customer, I can speak to the ordering. The website is very simple to use, very easy, very professional. Multiple ways to pay, and it's all above what every type of payment type and type of app that you're using. It's there, so it was very seamless. It if it takes you more than 2 minutes to get in and out, it's because you didn't know what you wanted. It's not because you had a hard time ordering it.
I appreciate that. And when you're offering so many different things, you appreciate that as a coffee connoisseur. Like, our focus is bringing the single origin coffee in, but we are a beverage company, and we will have other trinkets and the different products coming out of that. And we will have hardware that you see some of it's available now. Yeah. So you could be a proper connoisseur, but we got to take baby steps.
Absolutely.
First, get you into the coffee, and then we're going to let people know we're going to do, we came up with something top of the year, like just a straight home kit.
Right.
So you have everything in one package to be your starter kit coffee connoisseur. So once you learn the game and the commodity, it's a lot of money. The markup is incredible. It's crazy, but it's expensive. But once you get it here, and we're going to help, because we already got what they call product on the ground. Yeah. And we're going to share that wealth with so many others. And
I know the commodity and the cost. I mean, I know how much coffee is worth, and there's a difference between that
and just
that $1.99 bag in the corner already ground, and I know what good coffee tastes like, and if you think about when you put your money in things, and Third World Premium, I'm telling you, man, I love the packaging, I love the design, and even like you said, that was important. With this season on the show, it's like I couldn't do everything myself. I'm not a graphic designer, but I know what I like. So I went to a young brother with Ivory Coast Designs. He's one of my fraternity brothers, Phi Beta Sigma, Jeffrey Evans. Right. And his the link to his website is on my website. And got with him. I told him what I wanted. I told him what my concept was, and then that's where I ended up with the new logo, new website.
Wow.
It feels just refreshing, isn't it?
It was night and day difference. I sent it to my daughter, I sent it to my sister, and they came back immediately, and they were like, "Oh man, and I was like, you know what? You have to realize that I know what my lane is. I know what I can do. I can produce content. I can talk to people. I can do that. I'm not a graphic designer. I didn't need to do that. So I need to invest in someone that can do it, to invest in myself. So it's important. You're right. Packaging is everything, because people will talk about, even if they like it, they'll talk about you if it's raggedy. They'll talk about you if you're, and sometimes it's like when I listen to people's shows or I see shows, and it's like, I see little things. I say lighting is important. I try to tell people, and I'm going to try to spread that word more. I find that I have something to say beyond just the show and how to interview people. It's not something you could just do. Getting someone to tell a story and being comfortable, because it's not about me. It's about your story. And teaching people how to do that, there's a place for that. And I know that's something that I can drive and continue, just starting with people I know, people that are starting their businesses, because people know how to do their thing. Well, now it's my time to show them how to get their word out and help spread the word. So I really appreciate you coming on the show today. It was good kind of catching up and seeing, what you've done, and kind of hearing your stories again, and just seeing your view on the world. Vince,
glad to be a part of it, man. And Loving Coffee, the show, of course, we're going to be highlighting a lot of baristas. Some are owned by us, not a lot, but some are. But we're also going to be featuring a lot of entrepreneurs on every level, in every community. The first show that starts tomorrow, we're profiling a young Black entrepreneur who has his version of WeWork. Okay. So it's like the community, you got to bring it up. Each one teach one. We do our little DUI. Is it DIY?
DIY. Do it yourself. DIY. We don't want DUI.
That's our lane, so we make sure we get all of that. And so, we really get into it like very heavy. And we're very proud of it. The first show, because of the COVID, we had to shoot in very difficult circumstances where some had to be shot like either on a camera or iPhone. It wasn't there. But since a lot of it was there, which is great, we took precautions to make sure that we get the best. But moving forward, we should have, I think you guys are going to enjoy the show.
Okay.
And, it starts tomorrow. Streams everywhere tomorrow.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to continue to spread the word and watch it and drink the coffee. And make some more coffee converts. I'm like, you could drink it day or night, middle of the day, after snack, before snack. Man.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Make sure you guys visit Third World Premium. It is Cyber
Monday.
And we have a 40% off going, I don't know. John just send me everything so we can repost this and get it out to our people. And, we take it from there. Thanks for having us.
No, definitely. Awesome. Definitely. It was good. It was good talking to you guys, and I look forward to many more conversations, and I can't wait to where we're sitting over a nice cup of coffee when all of this is done. But, we'll keep talking and, keep going on. I love it.
There you go.
Again, that's Love and Coffee with Vincent.
You turned it back. You got it. Thank you so much for having us, bro.
All right. You guys have a good day.
Right. Thank you.
So there you have it. Part 2 of the interview in Vincent Samry's own words. In addition, they wanted me to share with the listeners an amazing offer that they have over at Third World Premium Coffee for the holidays. Gift sets are now available. Full state-of-the-art gift set includes 2 11-ounce bags of Third World Premium Coffee, 4 stylish ceramic coffee cups, 3 bags of chocolate-covered almonds, 3 bags of chocolate-covered espresso beans, 1 Third World Premium decorative all-steel cup and coffee bag rack. Now, this $79 value can be yours for only $49.99 while supplies last. Shop online now and get 1 to 3 day shipping. This is over at www.thirdworldpremiumcoffee.com. And after the break, we'll be back to talk more about the latest Marvel and Star Wars news. Welcome back to the Multifarious Man podcast. Here's the latest news from the world of entertainment. On its 2020 investor call, Disney made a plethora of announcements for its 2 major properties. From Lucasfilm, in the Star Wars universe, here are some series coming up on Disney+. Rangers of the New Republic, Ashoka, The Bad Batch, Andor, The Acolyte, Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Droid Story, Lando, and Visions. Upcoming Star Wars features include Rogue Squadron and an untitled film directed by Taika Waititi. Now, if you know who that is, he was a major star for Marvel as a director of Thor Ragnarok. Also, and this is one I'm really excited about, is Lucasfilm is bringing back Willow. This was an amazing movie in the 80s starring Warwick Davis, who, if you don't know, he's inside the suit of R2-D2. And now they're bringing back this as a Disney Plus series in 2022. Now for Marvel, here's what Marvel has on Disney Plus. WandaVision is going to be released in January 2021. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be in March 2021. Loki, May 2021. Hawkeye, fall 2021. What If, which is basically taking all of the Marvel characters and flipping them around as if they were played by different characters, were different other characters. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also, you have Ironheart, which is basically a young lady takes over the reins in the sense of Iron Man, where she builds her own suit. Armor Wars, Moon Knight in 2022, Secret Invasion. Look out for that, all you comic book fans. She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. Wait, going back to She-Hulk, that's starring the amazing Tatiana Maslany, who was on Orphan Black and basically played 6 different characters. Miss Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, I Am Groot. I love Groot. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is going to be an event, and it's going to be 2022. Marvel features Blade is back in 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That's going to be in theaters. No set date yet. Fantastic Four is finally joining the Marvel Universe, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be in theaters in 2023. I'm just like beside myself. It's a nerd's dream. All the Star Wars and Marvel features and TV shows, all the stuff you wanted growing up, it's happening. On the music scene, Friday, December 11th, Taylor Swift dropped her second surprise album of 2020 entitled Evermore. Now, according to Miss Swift's post on Facebook, this is the sister album to her other 2020 album, Folklore. It has 15 tracks on the digital release and 2 bonus tracks if you purchase the physical copy. Now, I've been listening to the new album, and not to say that Folklore wasn't a great album. I enjoyed it, but I'm really enjoying Evermore so far. So definitely check that out. Back in television, I discovered a new HBO Max series called The Flight Attendant. Now, this stars Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory. She played Penny. And the always amazing Rosie Perez. This addictive show is about a flight attendant that wakes up in the wrong hotel, in the wrong bed, with a dead man, and no idea what happened. The way the story unravels feels like a cross between Memento, Christopher Nolan, and the crazy characters of David E. Kelly's Picket Fences. I had to cut myself off after 4 episodes or I would have binged the whole thing. As an added bonus, stick around for the opening title sequence. It is a work of art. Well, that's all for this week's show. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MultifariousMan and find all links to previous episodes of the show along with essays and reviews at www.multifariousman.com. Please leave a rating and review on iTunes to let me know what you think about the show. And, of course, the show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and all major podcast players. Catch new episodes of the Multifarious Man podcast every Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Until next time, the Multifarious Man is out.
Numerous and varied, greatly diverse and manifold. All the things I want to say that never been told. Demon Sinatra to Drake and Pharrell. When I'm listening to this week, you can never tell. Bogey and Bacall, even Meryl Streep. The devil wears Prada, even the big sleep. It doesn't matter where you stand, I'm the multifarious man.